What up, it's Nick, and yes, I have COVID. Anyways, got that out of the way. Yeah, I'm wearing a mask because there's people in my house that don't have COVID, and I've been staying in my room for this is day 5. It's been pretty chill. I didn't think I was going to be able to make a video for you guys this week, but guess what? I am. I got my voice back, and I'm feeling a little better, and I'm just being cautious and taking medicine and all that goodness. But anyways, today I'm going to talk to you about sub bass. Just a couple techniques that I have learned over the years. You might know them already, and you might not know them, but yeah, this is just me talking about sub bass and tones and stuff like that. But anyways, if you like this video, like it, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay notified. But let's get right into it. Okay, I got this bass line for you right here. I'll let you check it out. It's pretty cool. I just dragged over a MIDI track and erased. It was a chord MIDI track, and I erased the other notes and just left the bass notes. Pretty low. Pretty low. So anyways, this is kind of, you can use anything you want. All it is a sine wave. What I use is I use the polygrid, and it's just a sine wave. And it's going through this AR, and then it's going through an output. And I do nothing to it. It's just a straight sine. We'll talk about how to get your, I guess, how I do it to get it distortion and gritty. I add another sub, but it's EQ differently, if that makes sense. But I'll show you. Anyways, yeah. So if you just want a single sine wave, that's honestly all it is. And then, so say you want like a rumble bass, and you want to do it in MIDI. There's a way to do that, because if you go over here and you look, I split the notes up, but it's still going to sound like the same note. Like, it's not going to go do 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 do. It's just going to keep going do 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 do. So to get that not to do that, you're going to want to highlight all the notes you want it to like skip, like do 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 do, and pull it back a little. Usually what I do is I'll zoom in real far, and I'll like go all the way up to like 1 to 128 to get it real small, so I can change it into like little increments to get a good feeling for it. And I'll let you listen to this. So like I'll turn it up to just 1 on the 1 and 128. Say you don't like that sound. Say you don't want it, it doesn't skip good enough for you. You can do 2, but let's do 4, because 4 is going to be, it's going to be a heavy skip. It's going to be like do 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 do. It's going to be like really heavy. Yeah, so that's that, and that's just a tip for if you want to make like rumble basses. And you could also use like a tremolo and stuff like that to do like a vibrating bass. Say that we have you want to make an 808s. The best way to do that, I feel, is just to use a shaper box or an LFO tool. It's like this. I have a curve right here, and it's going to I have the MIDI on, so it gets triggered from the MIDI. So every time a MIDI note hits, it goes down like an 808. So I'll let you listen to that right here. Not as heavy as, it doesn't go down as fast because the release is really long. So if we put the release, if we go up a little bit more, it goes down faster. That's a cool little trick. I've been using that little trick for a while. Instead of like designing the volume to go down inside of the synth itself, I just like using like an LFO tool or shaper box or gatekeeper, whatever you have will work. So yeah. So after like I have a good sounding sub or sub line, I always just render it down. So I'm just going to bounce this first one down because I'm not going to use the other ones. So I right click bounce. I just bounce the instrument layer. I just keep it how it is. If I don't like how good the volume goes down on the kick, I can always just delete this, and I can go back to my shaper box, and I can fix this, and then I can bounce it down again. And it's really easy. Bouncing down is pretty fast in Bitwig Studio. And then I'll be like, oh, I like that. So we'll mute this. We don't need that. We'll actually deactivate that. and it's really, really low. And what I usually do from here is I've made these presets for my sub. I have a sub low chain where it's only affecting 20 hertz to 65 hertz in the it's in mono. So if I press play on this, it's going to sound just super low. You don't even hear these notes. But you're like, why would you use that if you don't hear those other notes? So if you duplicate this and have a layer right here and you get rid of this low chain, I made another chain called the mid chain. So with the mid chain, it has a different frequency ranges with the EQ. It goes from that 65 hertz to 250, and I added distortion so you can hear the distortion on these. I'll just play this one without the low sub. And you can change the distortion all you want. You can go in here and pick any distortion you want. These are just presets. Pretty much that's all I do. If you put them together, they sound very powerful because they're just layered together. And the low end has its own section of the song, and then the mid low end has its own section of the song too. So they sound really powerful. And they're like hitting each other a little bit, making that a little bit of a rougher sound. But you can always go in here, and if you don't like the distortion in the way it blends, you can change your preset, or you can make your own distortion. It sounds cool. And if you want a little bit more grit, you can always turn this down, the low end down, so like 16, and then you can turn up the mid to like, let's turn that up to like, let's do 6. Let's do -6. And then it'll be like, brr, brr. And then you can hear a better quality low end like that. And then say, that's good and all, but like, I don't like having too many channels. You can just all render this into one. But you can't bounce it down into one. You will have to add a audio group like this. And then you'll have to click on the audio track you have. You'll have to go to the no input where it says no input. Go to sub bass and go to sub master. And I always usually do the pre, so you can get these together and then record. Make sure nothing else is recorded, and then record it. And then go back here, turn this off, go back to no input, and then solo this and see what you get. And then it's really quiet, so you can always click on it, go to gain, do +12. And then you can add more stuff on it, like let's add a distortion on it. Another distortion, so it's going to be really dirty. It sounds pretty good. And then if that's too much, you can always EQ it, so it's better. Maybe there's too much highs. It sounds pretty cool right there. But yeah, that's just some sub-bass stuff I wanted to talk about today and try to get out since I haven't been feeling well. And yeah, COVID got me. But what can you do? Try to do every safety precaution that I could. And I, didn't do it good enough, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, that's some tips and tricks about some sub bass and stuff you can do and not do if you don't want to. But yeah, this is how I do it, and you can obviously get more in depth with this. You could go back to your mids right here, and you could make a crazier sound, and you can always mess with the EQ a little bit. It doesn't have to be at 250. This is just how the preset I made is set up. Sometimes I'll go up to a certain tone that I like, and I'll keep it like that, and then I'll render the basses together, and they sound really good. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, give me a like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay notified to see more videos like this, or other videos I make. But anyways, yeah, tell me what you thought about this whole sub bass thing. If you make your own sub bass, I always just do it like this so I can get the exact distortion of the sub that I want for the song that I am making. I am very picky about sounds that I use because I usually just make my own sounds, and I'm a very picky producer, I guess. And I've just grown like that. That's how I make music. I'm very picky. So yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your week. Bye. Peace.